Welcome to the Hot Mess Cosmic Express, where we talk about the stars, shuffle a few cards, and never pretend to have our shit together. Hello, my little patch of Brussels sprouts. Welcome to another episode of the Hot Mess Cosmic Express. I am your co-commander for today, Darcy Britt.
And I am Tracy Gardner. Go ahead and grab your birth chart and a notepad. We're going to continue on discussing the Zodiac wheel. Last episode, we covered the first three, which was Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. We're going to go to the second three, starting now.
Yep, we're going to jump right into it. It's funny when you said the second three, I'm like, what would you call that? All right, so we're going to kick things off today in the sign of Cancer. So like Tracy said,
I'll use my middle finger.
Tracy, would you not flip me off? I'm offended. MG. So Tracy's pointing out there, oh, that's perfect right there. What that is the fourth house on your chart, but that's Cancer. See right there? And it's symbolized by the crab. You'll see right above that is the little glyph that goes with Cancer, which kind of looks like two little eyes looking at you, or I don't know if it's supposed to be it's supposed to be like a crab. I'm not really sure, guys, boys and girls.
It kind of reminds me of the yin and the yang, is what I kind of see.
I'll have to, I think somewhere I've seen something that talks about what it is, but I would think that that's closer, is the yin and the yang. And I'll explain why here in just a second. So the dates for Cancer, so it's symbolized by the crab. It is June the 21st through June the 22nd. And again, check your local listings because it could change just a smidge depending on when you were born and where you were born. Now, Cancer has a near and dear place in my heart because Cancer is the sign, the one and only zodiac sign that is ruled by the moon. And as such, it's got a very divine kind of, connection to it. It's very but it's very, very emotional on that aspect as well. It's associated with the element of water, which makes perfect sense because not only do crabs live near water, but I use it in like a tarot reference. When we talk in tarot cards or even any kind of oracle cards, most of the time water represents your emotions. Right. So it's just interesting that this sign is with water, and it's also an emotional sign. Now it is, though, even though it's an emotional sign, it's a cardinal sign. So a cardinal sign is modality, right? Modality is kind of like, what's the personality? And the cardinal signs are the ones that get things done. So Cancer does move. It does actually get things done, but it just carries maybe a little more emotion to it. If we think back to Aries and being that cardinal sign, Aries may be a little more harsh. It's ruled by Mars. So it may have more of that harsh warrior energy. Cancer may have more of that comforting kind of warrior energy, like passive aggressive, or let me slap you in the face with a fish kind of thing, but not stab you in the eyeball, right? So that's kind of that Cancer kind of getting things done. But it does have a yin energy. Again, with the moon, it's very reflective. It's very quiet. It's very just kind of inside and a very calm sort of energy. A few examples that you might get with the sign of Cancer is I put the mother. It's often associated with the mother anyway, but Cancer, because the divine mother is the moon, but Cancer is a lot of times those people that are mothering, very nurturing, very taking care of people. Also the feeder, because Cancers are the foodies of the zodiac. They are the ones that are taking all the Instagram pics in the restaurants. They're the ones that are making the good food, or that really, really, truly love food. A lot of times Cancer somewhere in their chart because they are really, really big feeders. On that point, I am a Cancer moon. And ironically, because your moon reflects your emotions, I feed my emotions, literally. Like with cookies and things like that. But it's also the healer. So that's another example, because Cancers tend to have that very healing kind of nurturing, again, associated with the moon, that nurturing kind of energy and that healing energy that comes along with it. That's what I've got. What do you have?
I have, once again, it's associated with the fourth house. Um,
Yes.
and then you already said the symbol of the crab. I was going to hold it up, but it doesn't really look like a crab
Well,
on here. So,
no, it doesn't. No, but this is there's the fourth house. Please disregard my notes. But if you're looking on your chart, this is about where you're going to find the fourth house is about down there in the corner, right? There we go.
yes. And then the mantra is I feel, which totally makes sense
I
since you're talking
feel
about it,
yes.
emotions. The opposite is Capricorn.
Ah, really?
Yep.
Okay. No, I mean, duh. I mean, okay, it makes sense. Sorry, I'm looking something up while you're doing that. I want to see if there's a reason why there's a crab.
And then the key words that I have are emotional, receptive, generous, loyal, imaginative, sympathetic, contradictory, moody, intuitive, family oriented.
Yeah, family's a really, really big one because that's all about that fourth house. So, and
Yep.
I've got down here that, I talked about it before that, but Cancer is the feeder of the zodiac. And it's not, so it's kind of like when you think about, that family member, that, mom or grandma figure that's always like, eat, you haven't eaten enough. You need to eat, eat, eat,
Right.
eat, right? You eat. This is like this Cancer kind of energy, like kind of thing. But they're they're definitely known as the feeder of the zodiac. They are very much associated with the home and don't mind being at home, don't mind staying at home. They are comfortable at home. um, but and when I mentioned before about their modality and being able to go, I wrote down here that they're inward looking but they're still able to move forward, so that's good. Rather than being inward looking and stalling, you can kind of look in like self-help but still get shit done, I guess, is a good way to look
Right.
at it.
They're the starters because it's the start of summer.
There we
If you
go,
think
the
of
starters and start of some. I like
right.
that. One thing about the Cancer and the crab, and I love this, is that when you think about the crab, sometimes they can go about things sideways, and I'll be honest, they talk about how it can be a little wishy-washy at times. But if you think about the crab as literally a little crab out there on the ocean, on the beach, right? And he's coming out, and then the next thing he doesn't know when the next wave's going to come and hit him, or little Sally from down the road's going to come up and swipe him with a net or something like that and try to take him home and kill him. So he's always like running and ducking back in his hole, and they're very, very afraid, right? So Cancers can be a little insecure. Wherever you have Cancer on your chart, that energy may have a little bit of insecurity to it. But also because Cancers, or when you think about a crab, they don't just walk straight forward like we do. They have to go sideways. So Cancers typically approach things sideways. Aries, as a warrior and a cardinal sign, will go straight at it, right? We're a warrior. Not really worried. Mars fiery, don't care who I burn down in my path. Cancer is a little bit more along the lines of, well, maybe we can get there if we go this way. And they kind of go around things too. So they do sidestep things a little bit, or go about things in a sideways manner. Okay. Um, I did write down on my little sheet, on the sweet side, they are very dependable and creative. They are very faithful and very loving and very protective of what they love and what they nurture. But on the sour side, they can be suspicious. They can be very clingy and very needy, very, very, very needy. A little pessimistic, and then honestly, just for lack of better terms, a little bit crabby when they want to be. So
I like
just
that.
yeah. So those are some of the things that I have with Cancer. Do you have anything else?
I think that was it. You ready to move on to Leo?
Yes, love me some Leo. That is. Oh, I skipped right to the Virgin. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, not the Virgin, but I have my paper there. Leo, I love me some Leo. Ooh, I even wrote really, really big on this one. All right. So Tracy's holding up the sign there. She's showing Leo, which is, as you can see, they're symbolized by the lion. Okay. So Leo is from the dates, and again, check local listings, July 23rd through August the 22nd. Depends. I'm a prime example of that. So July the 23rd through August the 22nd. Now, Leo is another fire sign, and it is actually ruled by the ultimate fire in the sky, the sun. So that gives Leo that bright, shining kind of energy, is what Leo brings to, that is what the sun brings to Leo. So just no surprise that the element for Leo is fire. It's a big fire element for us. It's also, now it is a fixed modality. Okay, so that's what's very interesting, is this is a fire sign that's a fixed modality, which means it's fiery, but it's stubborn, right?
Because it's in that middle of the season. You
Yeah,
got
it's
Cancer
stubborn.
starting
It's not,
summer. Now we got Leo, who's like the middle of summer. So you got the more, you know,
is that right?
stable.
I'm saying that right, right? Am I saying that right? I'm going back and looking
Yep.
through my notes, boys and girls, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Leo's
stable.
fixed.
Okay, okay. All right, stable and then adaptable. Okay,
It,
yeah, I got it.
it
Okay.
just
Stable.
it just
Okay, but
means that
stable could
they're
also be stubborn. So more
yes.
kind of just staying where we're at. Yep. Okay, got it. I'm just learning the modalities, folks. Literally, I told Tracy that's what I love about doing this is we're not experts. We said
Nope.
we don't pretend to have our shit together because we don't. I have another screen up over here that has all the modalities on it because I wrote it down and I told
There's
Tracy
so much information. There's no way. I mean, it would. There's just no
there's
way
no way.
I can remember it all. I have
Well,
cheat sheets everywhere.
it's literally, I think my brain would explode, and I don't know where I heard this fact, whatever factoid, but somewhere in my brain I'm stuck on the fact that for every like sign in in astrology, for every one of the 12 signs, there's more than 300 different keywords that you can use. So it's astronomical and astrological. I
You
stopped
said it right.
myself, didn't I?
Astronomical.
It's astronomical, the amount of combinations that you can put together, because that's really what astrology is. It's just a combination of keywords.
Well, and
So
that's why, like, depending on who you watch, like, you could watch one astrologer and they like tell you these things, but then you tell another or watch another astrologer
yep,
and they talk about these things. It's because there's so much information out there.
yep,
No one person can tell you it all. There's too much. And so
no,
people just like, whatever it kind of like calls to you is what you cover. So we're just going over the basics just to kind of help you,
yeah.
so you can be able to like read your own chart. Is basically
Well,
what we're
that and it
doing.
gives a flavor too. Like we just talked about Mars going into Libra, which when we get to the sign of Libra, we're going to talk about that. So it's going to explain to you why we say you need to do those certain things, right? When we
Right.
talk about the new moon, you're going to know a little more about the sign and understand why we're telling you to do those certain things. So we're trying to put, instead of just telling you, oh, do this stuff, guys, trying to help you guys understand why we're telling you to do it, because for so long we were wondering why the fuck is everybody doing it this way. Like I literally, I couldn't figure out why people were doing like full moon tarot. I'm like, how do you know to ask those questions at the full moon in Leo? Now I do, right? Because
Right.
I understand the flavor of Leo. So with that, let's jump into one of my favorite ones. So again, I mean, keep going. Sorry. So it's a fixed modality, and then it's also a yang energy. So again, it's, even though it's a little bit stable and stubborn sometimes, it's still yang. So it's still got some. There's a fire that's in there that needs to get out sometimes. Here are a few examples of personalities for people that might be Leos. A king or a queen. Some type of a performer. I always tell everyone when you talk about Leos, Kim Kardashian, a symbol of her in a black dress. She's got black hair, and then she's wearing that nude colored like dress, and she's just standing there. And it goes in my head every single time. I don't know why. It's just because she's a performer, right? She's a Leo. Um, and then the clown or the child. So those are two, because the child, I think that comes through because Leo is very fire oriented. I think sometimes it can be a little self serving a little bit and maybe throw some tantrums a wee bit. So I think that's where that
They want their
child,
way. They because they're used to because they're ruled by the sun. They want they're used to being the star. So I could see where that would be could be childlike because they want to be the center of attention. So yeah, that
yeah,
would work.
definitely. All right, so that's what I've got. So what do you have?
All right. So just to show the glyph, that's what the glyph looks like.
It looks like, okay, I'm sorry, but that totally looks like big hair. I'm sorry.
That's what I see. You
That's
can
I
see
see
it
a
kind of
I
looks
see
like
big hair.
hair.
Yeah, and it's funny because I will try. If anybody follows our Facebook group, I do try. Oh, sorry, the cat's on his scratching post. If I do try to, if I get big hair, it's typically on a Leo day. It is. It's the craziest thing. So anyway, so that's an easy way to know that it's Leo. Look, it looks like I don't know whose hair that is, but it looks like hair.
It does. I never really noticed that, but it does. It does look like hair.
Yep, it does. And on mine, because whenever I've seen it too, it's the same thing. I mean, mine's a little bit thinner.
Yeah,
So
you have the circle. Like it may
mine
have it.
just
This
is a
might be a
circle.
circle.
Yeah.
These
And
and
that's the other thing, guys, when we talk about looking at your birth charts, you're looking, see right there where our glyphs are a little bit different. Just double check your stuff. Again, there could be different glyphs. It just depends. So anyway, I'm sorry. I digressed. You were
it's
talking
okay.
about,
So Leo is associated with the fifth house.
okay.
Its mantra is "I will," because it's going to.
Oh, that's funny.
There's no question. It will get. A Leo will get its way.
So I
I
have
will.
that. I love that. So the one I have wrote down because I like a song, Megan Trainor's song, "I Love Me."
Yeah,
That is very much Leo, right? That's so Leo. That's my Leo affirmation I wrote down here. It's "I love me."
that's funny.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. I
The
like that. I
opposite
will.
sign is Aquarius.
Huh. Oh my gosh, that makes total sense. Oh my gosh. You have got to be kidding me. Yes. Okay, that makes sense because Aquarius, because I am surrounded by Aquarius people in my life. They're everywhere. And most of the time they're looking at me like this. Okay. I mean, I'm talking my kids, my grandkids, my aunts, uncle, grandpa, everybody. They're Aquarius. Anyway, they just make that face. But then, and so again, remembering I'm Virgo, but I'm on that cusp of Leo, so I still have a lot of Leo energy there. That makes a lot of sense on why sometimes we butt heads a little bit personality wise, because if I'm Virgo and but Leo, okay,
Yep.
they would clash a wee bit. Okay, makes sense. Sorry.
And then the key words that I have are creative, prideful, noble, generous, extravagant, egotistical, dramatic, powerful, opinionated, and romantic.
Ooh, and romantic. I like that. All right, are you ready for what I've got
Yes.
here? I've got a little bit here. So because we talked about how it's ruled by the sun and talked about like the performer. Well, it's no doubt that or no surprise that Leo is known as like the showboat or the performer of the entire zodiac. So they really don't mind being in the spotlight or kind of shining like a star. So keeping that in mind, that's a really good thing because that's where we can step out of our comfort zone because Leo isn't afraid to be in the center of attention, and because of that, they can sometimes be a little self-centered. They can be very much me, 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 me. Right? We talked about I love me. Right? It's a lot of air.
Right.
It's a lot of me energy that goes with that Leo as well. And they're really that Leo energy isn't really worried so much about the next day. It really does live in the moment. If you think about Leo being symbolized by the lion, and you think about a lion out in the jungle or on wherever on the plains, whatever, in the desert, and because they're down and they're crouched down into things, right? They're not what they just have to worry about today. I have to eat today, right? I need to it has to be today. And because of that, they sit there and then they jump on things. When they see something, they jump on it. So Leo energy likes to make a big entrance, right?
Oh,
Always
yeah.
likes to make a big entrance, but doesn't necessarily think about tomorrow or what that big entrance is going to do to everybody else, right? They're just worried about what's going to happen. So they're very much in the now kind of thing or kind of energy. Um, and they can be because there's a lot of me. They can have a little bit of a narcissistic tendency, or want to consistently turn. You may have been having a conversation, and a Leo may be like, "Oh, well, did I tell you about blah blah blah?" And it's not anything anybody was talking about. Nobody knows any context behind what that person was saying, but they just kind of had to say it almost just to turn the conversation or the attention back to them. It's just a need, right? It's nothing wrong with them. Again,
Right.
that's just a need, right? Um, so confidence is one big thing. They do like glitter or bling. I always say big hair on Leo days, glitter, bling, do it all up. Think show performer, showstopper kind of thing with Leos. And when it pounces on something at once like a lion. That's what I wrote down there. The only other thing I wrote is if you need to ground, if there's Leo energy, you need to ground it. Do stuff with painting or decorating, some sort of poetry. But that's what I
They're
have.
very
Oh,
creative.
but I do also have, and this is one thing, two things, real quick. I'm gonna say a sour, and then I'm gonna say a sweet. So the last sour I'll say about Leos is they do not do well with criticism most of the time because they are so used to being the fire and the center of attention. Criticism for a Leo is seen as a snub rather than an opportunity for improvement. So, getting Leo and keeping Leo energy into balance, that's a big thing, is learning to accept criticism from others, not as a insult to your intelligence or your drive or anything like that. It's just sometimes it's just fucking advice, man. That's all it kind of is, right?
Right.
Now, on the sweet side of things, Leo is one of the most generous and giving, and the lion heart, right? It's all Leo, the lion heart, and they are the most generous and giving, and will give you generally like the shirt off their back, if they can. Leo energy is very very loyal and giving, so, and generous. And I do not have a little thing here. Oh, that's because I don't have Leo socks. Oh no, that's because I don't have Leo socks. Oh, that's how. Well, you know what? That answers the question, because I was going to go through this later and be like, how can I figure out which ones I don't have? And I think I just figured out
Yep.
my
You don't
sister.
have your little graph of
Doop, doop,
sweet and
doop.
sour.
Yep. All right, Tracy. Now we're going to move on to the last of the three. Right. So again, we're doing these in sets of three. This, Tracy, this sign is a near and dear sign to my heart.
Same here.
There it is. This is the sign of Virgo, everybody.
And
Virgo
we're in
is,
Virgo
that's
season.
right. You want me to do my dance again? How you do it?
If you
Here
want
we
to
go.
see the dance,
Oh my gosh,
do our group.
that was really just for you and Danita. It really wasn't meant to go on the. But then I was like, "That's so funny. I just have to share." And I really didn't care that I looked like crazy. It was fun.
It's
Um,
hilarious. I loved it.
you know what? I'm a big believer that if the universe gives you a giggle, you have to take it. And if I can be the giver of the giggle, I will totally do that. Like, I love to sometimes just send some random things to my sister, and she'll text me like I literally just spit my drink out or whatever, and that just gets me going. I just think that's the funniest thing ever. Oh gosh, oh sorry, I had to laugh about her. Whew. Okay, so we're going to talk about Virgo the Virgin. That particular symbol does not symbolize to me any type of a virgin. Um, it's I'm sure that there is some meaning behind it, and
There is
however,
actually it,
go
it.
girl.
I don't know. I don't know the whole. I can't remember the whole mythology thing, but there is a story that Virgo and Scorpio used to be one sign, and so when they split and made two separate sign, this was the feminine part. So that was the womb.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah, there's more to the story and I can't remember it all,
Okay,
but I do remember that this was the feminine, like the womb, because
you
Virgo
are.
is virgin.
Because every time I look at a chart, I always struggle with Virgo and Scorpio because they're so
Yep.
close.
Scorpio has
Because
the tail
I
right
cannot
here.
believe you said that. I
There's
really cannot
there's
believe you said
Scorpio.
that.
See how it has the tail? So
Yep,
that's
I
the
see it.
male energy.
Yep.
because they used to be, supposedly they used to be together, and so when they split, this Scorpio is the male energy and Virgo is the female energy.
I'm going with, I think it's that they belong together because in my life, I can't believe you said that. Because in my life, I have had three, like my best friend all through like elementary school, high school, first 35 to 40 years of my life, really. And then I had a gal that I worked with for like 12 years that we worked in the same office. I mean, we were like best buds. And then my ride or die, they are all Scorpios.
I get
So
along really well with Scorpios.
yes, so and that makes really, and it makes sense when you say it that way that they kind of belong together, right? I didn't realize that they're split. That's really cool. Okay, sorry, KK. Oh, I'm supposed to talk about this, aren't I?
Sorry, I interrupted you and threw off your train of thought.
Yeah, well, when you started talking about the glyph, you've got, I'm a Virgo. There's a pattern. I stick to the pattern.
Right.
So you said the glyph, you were talking about that. And then I thought, okay, well, then Tracy's going to go right into the keyword. So I don't know. I don't know. I just went a whole other way. Okay, so we're talking about Virgos. We're virgins. Um, it is August the 23rd through September the 22nd, unless you want to talk about 2025, in which it started in August 22nd and it's September 21st. Now, just like the sign Gemini, Virgos, we are thinkers. We like
Yes.
to use our brains, and we are ruled by the planet of Mercury, which is why we're always thinking about things. Okay. The element is earth, so we're very grounded. We love, all of that. Virgos, if Virgo is very strong, or if you're very strong in earth signs, lots of different browns and greens and deep earthy hues and colors and stuff around you. Modality wise, so the flavor or the personality of Virgos is mutable. You're looking at a mutable, well, two mutable Virgos right here.
Yep.
Look here, boys and girls, for your viewing pleasure. Hello. Hello, we're two mutable Virgos, which means that we're flexible, which means we
Right.
typically, I mean, heck, if I have to text Tracy and say, hey, look, I cannot record, she'll be like, yep, totally cool. We're literally, and it's literally cool. It's not like she's like cool and then she's like stupid. Da, 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 da. It's really just cool, right? Mutable,
Right.
mutable signs are more kind of go with the
Adjustable.
flow kind of stuff. And it is also a yin sign. So it has the energy of a yin, or that just more of that calm kind of thing. That's where we're not taking action. We're letting other people take action. It's more of a quiet action. A few of the examples of personalities for Virgos. Virgos love to be of service. So the servant is obviously one that shouldn't surprise you. This one is one that is a little tough, but it's true. Is the martyr, because we feel sometimes that we are. Yep, and we do things to a certain way. If we're not careful, we can tend to go into martyrdom, like we think so we got to be careful about that. The perfectionist, but
Yes.
also the analyst, because they're always analyzing or auditing things like songs from Africa. There's more to that video. There's another phrase in there that I was like, are you kidding me? But I had to stop myself. So sorry. Yeah, so we always analyze things.
Yes.
That's what I have, Miss Tracy.
All right. So what I have is just to restate that it's the sixth, associated with the sixth house.
Sixth house, okay?
Yep. Symbol the Virgin, or the glyph is
Just put a
this.
picture of Darcy right there. Just put my picture right there on the little virgin like this. I'll be like this. I think that's virgin-esque, right? No, I don't think it'll fly. I better be careful.
The,
Lightning's going to strike.
yeah. This motto makes perfect sense. I analyze.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I analyze. Yeah, mine was just I serve, but yeah, yours is better. Yeah, I analyze, because that's more of what I do, is just analyze.
And then the opposite sign is Pisces.
Huh? Because we think dreamers are idiots.
Well, it's funny because I was trying to think of,
We don't really think dreamers are idiots, people. Please, please do not think
because
my.
there are a lot alike in a lot of ways, but Virgos are more like the earth,
We're more
the
grounded. We're not
yes.
in the air like
Whereas
Pisces,
Pisces
right?
is more in like in the head, in
Yep.
they're dreamers, but
Oh,
we're more grounded.
right. We
And
try,
then
right. We're more realistic sometimes in what we're, come
yes,
here, come here. Sorry.
keywords that I have are hey Cosmo.
Yeah, he just
Keywords
wants,
are modest, picky, logical, analytical, melancholy, practical, perfectionist, industrious, nagging, and
oh,
helpful.
well, it sounds like my Match.com profile.
It's what I put in my profile. Like, yep. Like, yeah, you want to know me? Yep, that just
Yep,
pretty much
just
sums
saying.
it up.
It's I mean, you
You
know,
don't have to call me out like that, but
here's the thing. We understand all that this is and don't have a problem telling everybody how harsh and how evil and crazy and whatever it can be. And most of the time people are like, "No way. You won't bet." You want to see the crap? I mean, it can get very interesting. Okay, so you want to hear what I have? Oh,
sure.
I like. So I a lot of what I have. Hang on. Da, 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 da. I was looking through my notes here. So they're known as the bean counter of the zodiac. So and that's actually because a little bit of history. I think something with the picture or whatever somewhere there's one of the symbols to the Virgo shows something with grain or wheat or something back. There's something
They're
from
also known
history.
as the harvester. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And it was because they were counting, they would count the grains and count the beans. Like they were the ones that would do this, right? So they're known as the bean counter of the zodiac. And because of that, they are, like we talked about, very analytical, very, very detail oriented, many times to a fault. So having a safety word to pull you out of rabbit holes before you get too deep into them is always important. They do enjoy and love being of service and are very health conscious. So they do like, whether it's, they may not be like health nuts, but they're usually trying to do something because in the back of their mind, whether you know it or not, they're doing that because they're trying to be healthy, right? They don't necessarily tell everybody about it. They do tend to be workaholics because because of their service. They will overextend themselves and be too much of service. Again, that's that mutable sign,
I was
lack
going
of
to say that's that. Yep.
boundaries, a lot, right? So, and that's something that I work with. I'm working on is that workaholic part, but it's not just workaholic, but they're hard workers. Like you want a fucking Virgo on your team because they are not getting. I mean, we can research things and figure out the problem solvers, like we've talked about. We're the problem
Yep.
solvers. We're the ones that are going to get in there, research it, figure it out, come up with ways to get it done. We may not be the ones to help get it done because that's not our wheelhouse always is the getting of the things done because when it comes to that perfectionism kills us sometimes.
We're
um,
going to come in and analyze, tell you what's not working or what's wrong and how it needs to be fixed. We don't necessarily do the fixing.
Right, we can't really do that because we can't do the big picture piece of it because there's this. We can help you understand how it's gonna, or how to fix it, but we can't help you understand all of the pieces to it or get in there and execute it. We
Right.
can, but we're the analyzers. We are not the day to day operations people. Um, we can be a little bit picky or a little overly critical again of ourselves as well as other people.
Yep.
They do like to read, to write, anything to further develop. They are typically certification junkies. If you're a certification junkie Virgo, raise your hand. I can't get mine all the way up there yet. There it is. Yeah. So we oh, that would be fun. We should list all of our certifications one day. So they do really like that.
Well, and
Uh,
even not just certification, it's just taking classes, learning.
Constantly.
You don't have to actually like get the paper, but I mean, if you saw all the books around me that I have right now of all the, astrology that I was showing Darcy earlier, I have probably about 4 or 5 books around me just because in case we needed to know something. It's
Right.
all about the learning, the researching, the
Well, we're trying to be a little more aware and not pulling so much up on our computers while we're talking and to be just a little bit more structured. So you
Well,
had all this stuff
it
out.
causes problems. For some reason, it doesn't, the
The
software doesn't like us to go out of the screen. So,
It gets really picky. So I'm a big music. A clairaudient. I'm a big music gal, right? So
yes.
I didn't write down a whole lot of songs on these, but I really wish I would have. So the song that I wrote down for Virgos, because I wrote down "Busy Busy," Alab- Alabama's "I'm in a hurry to get things done." Do you know that song?
No.
I'm in a hurry to get things done. Oh, I rush and rush until
Oh,
life's full of
okay.
fun. You know that one?
Yep. I just didn't
Yep.
know the name of it. Yeah.
Yep. There we go. Now you do. That's the Virgo theme song. Because I'm in a hurry and don't know why. And it's like, Virgo, slow the fuck down for a minute. Just take a chill pill for just because we are busy, right? But we're busy because we're trying to serve everybody else. So we need to turn that a little bit more in onto ourselves. Um, but I obviously have Virgo socks. I do. Look, I've got Virgo socks. I do know they are black with a goldish top. Let's see what they say, sweet and sour, about the Virgo. So, sweet side, we are practical, reliable, intelligent, charming, of course, and thoughtful. On the sour side, oh, fuck you. We're argumentative, harsh.
Because we're right.
I know, right? I mean, why argue? What's the point? There's one right answer,
Virgo.
mine. Harsh. Ask me how many times I had to whip out that chat GPT prompt today on from drama queen to dynamic delivery. I swear to God, because I almost went streaking through the quad. I was so bad today. Okay. Overly critical. Bingo. Fussy. Ta-da. And judgmental.
Yep.
I'm not a judgmental Virgo. That's one of if I always said if I was a Playboy bunny centerfold that would be one of my centerfold churn-offs. I don't know if anybody else thinks about their lives in that way like I do, but when I listed my turn-offs, it would definitely be judgmental assholes. So I don't know. That just gives you something to think about, Tracy. If you were a Playboy bunny, what would your turn-offs be? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
You don't have to tell stay, but oh, but I did write down here becomes her work. So you really have to really be careful about that. You really do to the Virgos out there. So in that, I think Tracy wraps up round number 2, where we have covered now. We covered the second.
Oh, before we go, I have one more thing. Sorry.
Oh yeah. No,
No,
you
I
do the
just
thing
wanted
because
to
you know where
say,
I go. You go ahead.
especially for anybody that likes into mythology and all that, when you were talking about like hurry to get things done, part of that is because Virgo is the end of summer, like it's coming to an end. You're going in, or
Oh, like
going into
Persephone.
summer. Yeah, so you have Persephone preparing to go. If anybody knows the myth of Persephone has to go. Demeter's the mom. Persephone's the daughter, and she has to go to the underworld because she is promised to Pluto, who rules like winter. In so she's preparing to go underground to the underworld. So she has to get everything done before
Yes.
she goes down. And that's the end of summer, beginning of fall, leading into winter.
I love that because even you think about like the squirrels and all the little critters and stuff out
Mm-hmm.
in the
That's where
yard,
you're
they're
like getting
all
all your
just,
stuff together. That's why
oh,
August and September is the time to, like, prep your house, prepare
yeah.
for winter, getting everything, making sure your water spigots and everything are turned off. You're doing all that stuff, getting prepared for winter.
That's a really great way to think about it too. Maybe see again, maybe there's nothing wrong with me. It's just my chart. It's just my Virgo that's right
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
That's really, really that's awesome.
Yep.
See,
So,
I learn something every time we talk. That's why I love doing this. I really, really do. While we're at it, though, I would like to remind everybody to head over to our Facebook group, the Hot Mess Cosmic Express, where you can engage with Tracy and I directly. We love getting people asking questions about things they see on their birth chart. So join us over there on Facebook. And if you love the podcast, we would also love a 5-star rating. And if you would share this with at least one of your friends who you think could use a little bit of hot mess cosmic express laughter or guidance in their day, then we would greatly appreciate that.
We would.
Yeah, very much so. So with that, I'm Darcy Britt. We're going to sign off here.
I'm Tracy Gardner. You guys have a great day.
All right, bye guys.